Arduino Uno. Processor, Atmega 328, 8-bit CPU, 16 MHz clock speed, 2 kilobits SRAM, 32 kilobytes flash storage. Features: 14 digital I/O pins, 6 analog input pins, removable microcontroller form factor. 2.7.2.1 rectangle. The Arduino Uno is the most standard Arduino board currently on the market, and is probably choice for beginners just getting started with the platform. The board is compatible with more Shields add-on boards than other models. The Uno's main limitation is the Atmega 328 chip, which doesn't have a lot of kinds of programs you can load on the chip if your project involves a display or otherwise needs to store and use any form of images or audio data. 2 kilobytes of memory probably isn't going to be enough. Processor: Atmega 328, 8-bit CPU, 16 MHz clock speed, 2 kilobits SRAM, 34 kilobits flash storage. Features: 22 digital I/O pins, 8 analog input pins. Form factor: 18 mm, 45 mm rectangle. The Arduino Nano is a small, complete and breadboard-friendly board based on the Atmega 328, Arduino Nano 3X. It has more or less the same functionality of the Arduino Duo Milano, but in a different package. It lacks only a DC power jack and works with a mini B USB cable instead of a standard one. Processor: Atmega 328, 8-bit CPU, 16 MHz clock speed, 2 kilobits SRAM, 32 kilobits flash storage. Features: 14 digital I/O pins and 8 analog input pins. 16 MHz crystal oscillator. Form factor: 30 mm, 18 mm rectangle. The Arduino Min is a small microcontroller board originally based on the Atmega 168 but now supplied with the 328. Datasheet intended for use on breadboards and when space is at a premium. The new Min revision 05 has new package for the Atmega 328, which enables all components to be on the top of the board. It also has an onboard reset button. Processor: Atmega 328, 8-bit CPU, 16 MHz clock speed, 2 kilobits SRAM, 32 kilobits flash storage. Features: 14 digital I/O pins and 6 analog input pins, removable microcontroller. Form factor: 2.7.2.1 rectangle. The Arduino Uno is the most standard Arduino board currently on the market, and is probably choice for beginners just getting started with the platform. The board is compatible with more Shields add-on boards than other models. The Uno's main limitation is the Atmega 328 chip, which doesn't have a lot of kinds of programs you can load on the chip if your project involves a display or otherwise needs to store and use any form of images or audio data. 2 kilobytes of memory probably isn't going to be enough. Arduino Mega. Processor: Atmega 2560, 8-bit CPU, 16 MHz clock speed, 8 kilobits SRAM, 256 kilobits flash storage. Features: 54 digital I/O pins, 15 ohm, 16 analog input pin, 4 watts, 16 MHz crystal oscillator. Form factor: 101, 52 mm, 53, 3 mm rectangle. The Mega 2560 is a microcontroller board based on the Atmega 2560. YHE Mega is compatible with most Shields designed for the Arduino Duo or desimilar. It is intended for comparatively bigger projects requiring a large number of input and output pins. Processor: Atmega 32U4, 8-bit CPU, 16 MHz clock speed, 2.5 km SRAM, 32 flash storage. Features: 20 digital I/O pins and 7 PWM, 12 of which can be used as analog inputs. Native USB support form factor 68mm 53, 3mm rectangle. The Leonardo is essentially a slight upgrade to the Uno. It looks a lot like the Uno, but it features a solderer on Atmega 32U4 microprocessor with a tiny bit more memory. The main advantage of the Atmega 32U4 isn't the extra SRAM thought, it's the chip's built-in USB compatibility. This allows the Leonardo to interface with a PC which sees it as a generic mouses or keyboard. It also features a few extra analog inputs pins. Processor Atmel SAM3X8E ARM Cortex-M3 32-bit CPU 84 MHz clock speed 96 kilobits SRAM 512 flash storage features 54 digital pins 12 PWM, 12 analog inputs pins, 2 analog output pins native USB port form factor 101, 52mm and 53, 3mm rectangle. One of the newest Arduino boards, the Jew, is the heavy hitter of the family, packing a 32-bit ARM processor that handily outclasses any the processors found in other Arduino boards. The Jew is primarily for more co-plated projects. It can make use of its muscular processor that can make more I/O pins than are found on the smaller Arduino boards. That said, the Jew is substantially bigger and more expensive than the Uno or Leonardo, so consider that you really need the exerter power before make to purchases. One drawback to the Jew is that it operates at 3.3 volts, which is different than the 5 volt that most Arduino boards operate it at. The limits the add-on hardware that's compatible with the Arduino Jew. If an add-on board tries to send a 5 volt signal to the Jew's I/O pins, it could damage the microcontroller.